All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to my journey to rank all of the Pokemon ever made. Yes, this time we're on to Gen 5, which is the game that I first played, and this is also, I believe, the largest Pokedex out of any of the generations. So I kind of gotta get going here. So that means starting with not the starters, actually, because it's Victini. There's like a reason for this, why Victini is the first. I couldn't tell you what it is though. I don't particularly think Victini is all that good. I'm gonna be honest with you, Victini's like a C tier for me. You're fine. I don't dislike you, but I also don't like you. You're just very mid. But now we get to start with the starters with Snivy, Servine, and Superior. I might be wrong about the middle one. I think that this is a pretty fun line. It's not my favorite. I think that it's funny that Superior loses the limbs. I think Snivy's pretty cute though. I think Snivy's probably an A tier. Servine, you're just kind of fine. I'm gonna say B tier. Superior, I might put you at the top of B tier for now. These are all subject to change once I get to the end and I get to reorganize things, but for now this is my placement. All right, and now for the fire starters, we have Tepig, Pignite, and Emboar, and I'm sorry everyone, but I do not like this line. I do not enjoy them as starters. I do not enjoy them as Pokemon that much in general. I think Tepig is the best, but at the end of the day, for some reason, I still think Tepig is like a low B tier. Pignite, I do not like. I think Pignite is my least favorite of this generation. Unfortunately, for me, Pignite is like a D tier. I'm sorry. And then Emboar, I also just don't really like that much. Again, apparently my goal is to make people hate me as much as possible, but Emboar is going to be a C tier. I think you're better than Victini. And then we have the water starters with Oshawott, Duat, and Samurott. And this is the line that people don't tend to like that much, but I love it. Oshawott is definitely an A tier. You get to be high up in A tier. You're cute. You have the little shell. I like it. Duat, I think is pretty good. I'm going to say you're top of B tier. And then Samurott, people are going to find this surprising, but I actually really like Samurott, and Samurott is also going to be A tier. I think it's fun that one of the starter lines starts bipedal and then goes to quadrupedal. That doesn't happen very often. And also, you look like a cool samurai seal, like an actual seal. I know that you start as like an otter, but that's okay. Pokemon change all the time. Anyway, now it's time for the early route Pokemon with Patrat and Watchog. You may find it hard to believe, but I kind of hate these guys. I think they're really ugly and I don't like them. I think this is the earliest I'm going to have an F tier Pokemon. Watchog is F tier. This guy is a little bit better, but I still don't love you. I think you're probably D tier. All right, and now we have Lillipup, Herdier, and Stoutland, I believe, is the order of those names. I think these ones are fine. I like dogs. It's just kind of a little bit generic for me. I think Lillipup is cute though. I'm gonna say Lillipup gets to be a B tier. Herdier, I do not like as much. I feel like you're probably still B tier, and Stoutland, you're still up in B tier as well. Actually, I'm just gonna put Herdier down in C tier. All right, now we have Purloin and Liepard. These ones I'm kind of just like, you're okay. This is supposed to be like the Meowth and Persian, because if you don't know, Generation 5 is basically taking Generation 1 and doing its own twist on it, because there's no other generation Pokemon within this game, or these games, I should say. So it's all original, which is also why this is the largest generation. I think I like Liepard more, actually. I kind of just feel like B tier. And then Purloin, I think, is maybe below Lillipup a little bit. And now it's time for the monkeys that everyone hates. We have Pan, Sage, and Simisage. We have Pan, Seer and Semi-Seer, and then we have Panpour and Simipour. Wow. I think that they're kind of, if my memory serves me, put in the game to kind of teach you a little bit about type matchups a little bit more, which is weird because you already have that with the grass, fire, water starters, but these guys are also here for some reason. I do not like these ones. I think they're all quite ugly. They might kind of just all immediately jump to D tier for me. I'm just gonna see how this feels. This is the only one, Panseer, that I kind of like. I'm gonna put you in C tier for now, and then the rest of you are gonna go down here. I think you're my least favorite, and then probably you. Yeah, that feels... You know what? This feels correct. Patrat still gotta go below him though. All right, now we have Munna and Musharna. I think that these two are really fun Pokemon. I don't know why I like them so much. I think I've put together a brain blast moment. I think part of the reason is because these two feel very hippie and also Daphne from Scooby-Doo coded. So I think that that's probably the reason why I like them. I believe they are both going to be A tier. I do like Musharna more, and the more that I'm looking at this list, the more I want to move like Duat and Serperior up in A, and this is where I'm at right now. All right, now we have Pidove, Tranquil, and Unpheasant, of which there are 2 forms. As a reminder of the rules, I try to rate forms of Pokemon together, so I can't have like one in B tier, one in C tier, unless I forget. Obviously, I like the male version more though, so that you're just going to be there, but that's how I do it. As for the line itself, they're very generic birds. Like, they don't even have much fun going for them. I do love Pidove's stupid little face, and it's a pigeon. So that, or a pigeon dove, I think I'm going to keep you in like C tier. I think Unpheasant could probably go like here. I think you're a D tier. You're just kind of forgettable. All right, now we have Blitzel and Zebstrika. I think that these two are so cute and I really like them. They are the Ponyta and Rapidash of the generation, but I actually like them more than Ponyta and Rapidash. But I'm gonna put both of them in A tier. I don't know which one I prefer more. Blitzel is just cuter in general, but Zebstrika is also a very fun, cool design. Maybe something like this is what I'm feeling. All right, now we have Roggenrola, Boldore, and Gigalith, I believe is what is, or Jigalith. Jigalith sounds wrong though, so I always say Gigalith. I think the weird fun fact about Roggenrola is that that's his ear. I've always seen it as an eye though, and that's not going to change. I'm fine with this generation. Roggenrola is my favorite. Roggenrola is going to be like kind of a higher B tier. The rest of them, I think they're fine. I'm kind of feeling B tier for you. I do like Boldore more, though. All right, now we have Woobat and Swoobat. I love these guys. I especially love Woobat, the little heart nose. There's just something so fun about these guys. Woobat is one that I just want to be able to like hold and just get my cuteness aggression out in a non-aggressive way, of course. Woobat is definitely an A tier. I think Swoobat gets a little bit too much. I like that it's just a round little guy, and then it gets into less of a round little guy. So I'm going to put Swoobat down in B tier. All right, now we have Drillbur and Excadrill. I like the little moles. I like that they got the razor claw things going for them so they can dig real good. This is where I most assuredly learned about the move Dig, and I always thought that that was a fun move. That's a bonus for them, I guess, in my brain anyway. As for the designs, I think they're just kind of fine. I'm gonna go ahead and say that they're a B tier probably. All right, now we have Audino. I don't know, for some reason I've never been a huge fan of Audino. To me, when I was playing the game, they felt like a rare Pokemon, and maybe they actually are, I don't know. So it was cool when I saw one, but other than that, I don't really care about you. I think you're probably just gonna be a C tier somewhere. Again, C tier is not bad, it's just not for me. All right, now we have Timber, Girder, and Conkeldurr. It's probably Conkeldurr, but I've always said Conkeldurr. I just think it's cool that you have Pokemon helping out at like a construction site. I just think that's fun and funny and cute. Timber is of course my favorite just because he's cute and I like him. I think you're probably a B tier. I also like Girder despite the weird veins that you have. I'm probably gonna stick with B tier for you. And then Conkeldurr, you certainly look like you work construction, and I appreciate that they that they nailed that. However, I think you're just kind of a weird design sometimes, so I'm gonna stick you in C tier. All right, now we have Tympole, Palpitoad, and Seismitoad, I believe are their names. I appreciate a decent water line, and I think that that's what this is, just kind of decent and average across the board. I will keep Tympole in like B tier, and then I think it just gets uglier from there, so I guess I'll probably put the rest of them down in C tier. All right, now we have Throw and we have Sock. I'm going to apologize now because I really like these, even though they are just men. I do like Sock more. I don't know why. I just always have. And Sock is going to be a surprising A tier. And then Throw is not quite A tier for me, I don't think. But you are going to be a B tier. All right, now we have Swaddle, Swadloon, and Leavanny. I've always liked Swaddle. I think he's so cute. And that means he's gonna get to be an A tier. Good job, buddy. Swadloon, I also think is fun. The way that it just looks like you're wrapped up in blankets. You are nonetheless going to be B tier though. And then Leavanny, I don't particularly care for. I don't know. I think this line could have gone somewhere a little cuter or a little more in line with the theme of this little Pokemon line. So Leavanny's probably just going to be a C tier for me. All right, now we have Venipede, Whirlipede, and Scolipede. This is a line that people really enjoy, particularly because of Scolipede, and I'm not going to deny them that because I think Scolipede is cool as heck, dude. This bug is humongous. Have you ever seen the actual size of this bug? I love that. It's so fun. Scolipede is without a doubt going to be up in A tier for sure. Venipede is just kind of like whatever, like you exist and you're here. Whirlipede is fun because you're like in a little ball and you roll around. Yeah, I'll go like B tier for you guys. All right, now we have Cottony and Whimsicott, I believe. Cottony, it does nothing for me. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not bad, but it does nothing for me, so you're C tier. And then Whimsicott is, you're better. Do I care enough about you though? I don't think that I do. I like you more than Leavanny though. All right, now we have Petalil and Lilligant. I do like these ones. I think they're pretty cute. I like how pretty Lilligant gets, how elegant they get. Petalil, yeah, you can be like a B tier. Lilligant is also going to be B tier. I like you more than Petalil though. All right, now we have Basculin, and there are two forms of Basculin. Basculin is it's just a fish. It's not a particularly interesting fish. I think that this one's just kind of C tier for me. All right, and now we have Sandile, Crocodile, and Krokorok. And yeah, this is a great line. Sandile is one of the cutest Pokemon, I think. So Sandile's gonna go. I don't know if you're S tier. I'm going to contemplate S tier a little bit more and leave you at the top of A tier. Crocodile is without a doubt A tier. I think the whole line is A tier. Yeah, no, the whole line's definitely A tier. All right, here we have Darumaka and Darmanitan, which has a Zen mode. And I'm going to be so honest with you. I did not know that the Zen mode was introduced in Generation 5. I've seen this guy before and I just thought he was a later addition. And part of the reason for that is because I do not like this line. A lot of people do. I am not one of the enjoyers. I think that they're all ugly and I don't particularly enjoy them. I think what I'm going to have to say is people are gonna hate me. People are gonna hate me, but I have to speak my truth. Darumaka, I'm gonna be very generous with you and I'm going to put you in C tier. Darmanitan, I'm not going to be as generous with, and I'm going to put you in D tier. All right, now we have Maractus. I think that Maractus is a fun little cute design. I've never been particularly impressed by it, but I do like it, and I think that it's a B tier. All right, Dwebble and Crustle. I like these two. I really like Crustle. I like that he has the layers of the Earth's crust on his back. I think that that's quite fun. I also like how big you are. You're a pretty big Pokemon. Dwebble is not my my favorite. I'm gonna say Crustle gets to stay in A tier, and then Dwebble's going to be a B tier somewhere. All right, Scraggy and Scrafty, a line that I adore. I love their stupid face. I love that they gotta hold their pants up. I said that Sneasel and Weevil feel like a lesser version of Scraggy and Scrafty, and I wholeheartedly stick with that truth, my inner truth. Again, I am considering S tier. It's truly gonna depend on how much I end up putting up there. So for now, I'm just gonna leave them up in A tier. All right, and here we have Sigilif, or Sigalif, as I have always said, because I'm wrong. I think that it's a fun design. When I saw this as a child, I was confused by it, but I was enamored by it. Sometimes something so alien looking is so very fun, and that means Sigalif is going to be an A tier for me. And then we have Yamask and Cofagrigus. Again, two Pokemon that I love because, I mean, I'm always going to enjoy a ghost type. I like Yamask's little crying eye and face holding the mask, and then Cofagrigus. Just a phenomenal Pokemon. These are also both going to be A tier Pokemon for me. All right, now we have Tortuga and Caracosta. I think these are fine. Tortuga is the least interesting because this is basically just a sea turtle, and that's okay because I love sea turtles. Caracosta gets a little bit more interesting. It looks like it has like a combat vest, so to speak. I don't even know if I've seen them in the game before, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them in, I think, B tier. Caracosta is definitely going to be higher up. All right, Arkin and Archeops. I know that this is a fossil line, so maybe Tortuga and Caracosta are also a fossil line. I'm not 100% sure. If that's the case, that would explain why I've never seen them in the game. I really like these dumb birds, especially Arkin. You're so cute, and you are absolutely A tier. Archeops, I also really enjoy, but I don't think you're A tier. All right, Trubbish and Garbodor. I've always said Garbodor, but it's Garbodor. Are odor because smelly. I love Trubbish though. He's a little trash bag, but I think he's cute and he's gonna be an A tier Pokemon for me. Garbodor is going to be, you get uglier and I don't like you as much, but I'm still pleased with you, so I'm gonna say you're B tier. All right, Zorua and Zoroark. I think they're very cute. I really like Zorua. I just think you're a little cutie. For some reason, these two have never been especially compelling to me. I do like them. I like their designs. But when I think of Gen 5, they are not like standouts for me, weirdly enough. I think I'm content with keeping them in A tier though. It feels like they deserve it. I do think I like Zorua more. Just cuter. All right, now we have Minccino or Minccino and Cinccino or Cinccino. For some reason, I've always said Minccino and Cinccino. I'm probably terribly wrong on all of these, and that's okay with me. Do I particularly care about these? No. That's it. That's the end of what I have to say. I just don't care for these two. I might keep Cinccino in C tier, but Minccino is going to be a C tier. Sorry, I meant B tier. All right, now we have Gothita, Gothorita, and Gothitelle. I don't know, this is a fine line. I don't particularly care for Gothita. You know how babies can be ugly? This is an ugly baby to me, so I don't particularly care for you. I think you are probably going to be a C tier. Once we get to Gothorita and Gothitelle, I'm fine with you. I like that you just get more bows as you go on. I think they're probably just both B tier. All right, now we have Solosis, Duosian, and Reuniclus. Whatever image source for these three that they used for this tier list makes them look pretty bad. This is also another weird line that I weirdly enjoy because they're kind of just little freaks. The only one I'm gonna put down in B tier is Solosis just because it doesn't have that much going for it yet. Once it evolves, I really like this line and I'm going to go ahead and just enjoy it in A tier. All right, Ducklet and Swanna. I don't know why a duck turns into a swan, but again, it's Pokemon. They can do whatever. I don't mind these guys. I don't love them either. Ducklet's a B tier. Swanna might just kind of be top of C tier. All right, Vanillite, Vanillish, and Vanillux. This is a line that people seem to hate. This is where people are like, oh, they ran out of Pokemon ideas. They're just turning objects into Pokemon. And I go, maybe Pokemon's always been unoriginal sometimes though. And I don't think this is unoriginal. I really like this line actually. I think they're fun. I think that I'm going to keep Vanillite in A tier. I like you. I think that I'm going to keep Vanillish in A tier. And I think I'm going to keep Vanillux in A tier. So how about them apples, viewer? Does that upset you? If it does, I'm sorry, I just like this line. And this is my opinion. But yeah, they're staying in A tier. All right, here we go. We got Deerling, of which there are 3 forms, or 4 forms now. There's spring, I assume summer, fall, and winter. And then, of course, we got Sawsbuck, spring, summer, fall, and winter. I have always thought Deerling was very cute. The order that I would put them in, I think, is actually the order that they're in now. Sawsbuck, I absolutely am going to put fall form first because I love the big leaves, and then spring, summer, actually winter. I think that they are going to be higher B tier, which means B tier is going to get some heavy expansion because I'm adding 8 Pokemon alone into this one. All right, anyway, it's time for the Pika clone of this generation, and that's Emolga, the little flying squirrel. Again, I don't tend to like the Pika clones very much. I don't hate Emolga, but I think you might be C tier. All right, how about Carablast and Excavalier? I like Carablast's goofy little face. I always have. Excavalier, you just get a whole lot of stuff added to your design that kind of comes out of nowhere for me. Doesn't mean I don't like you. I think you're fun. It's just Carablast doesn't carry much of like the Roman armor thing in it, and then it just wow, Roman armor. I'm kind of feeling B tier for this line. All right, Fungus and Amoonguss, the mushroom Pokeball Pokemon. They're kind of fun, I guess. Fungus is cute. I don't really like Amoonguss. You're just kind of weird. Fungus, also B tier. And then Amoonguss, you're probably C tier. All right, now we have Frillish and Jellicent. It might be Jellicent and then Frillish. For the life of me, can never remember which one it is. I like the starting ones more than this one's just kind of weird and ugly, but I do like them. I like that they have different forms. I think it's kind of this way for me in the order of which I like them. These guys I think are going to be C tier, and then these guys are going to be, I think, B tier for me. All right, here's Alomomola. It's just a big fish. Yeah, that's all I have to say. It's a big fish. I don't particularly care for it all that much. I think you're just a C tier. All right, Joltik and Galvantula. I like these ones. Joltik is definitely an A tier. I think you're a cute little guy. Are you the smallest Pokemon? Either way, I think you're cute. And a little electric bug spider, I think, is a little sweetie. And then Galvantula, I don't like the design as much. You lose the cuteness. You kind of maybe gain cool factor, but it's just kind of whatever to me. I'm going to go ahead and say that weirdly, Galvantula is more of like a C tier for me. All right, Ferroseed and Ferrothorn. I just think that they're weird. That doesn't mean that I hate them. I just think that they're weird, like weird. I'm thinking of a tier that is C. All right, Clink, Clang, Clink Clang. This is the Magnemite zone of this generation, basically. I don't have any issues with these guys. They're gears. I don't think they're spectacular in any way. They're just kind of fine. I might keep Clink in B tier and then put the rest down in C tier. All right, Tynamo, Electric, Electros. I think that this is a fun line. I really like Tynamo's cute little face, and just he's cute in general. Tynamo's gonna be an A tier. And then I also quite like Electric and Electros. I think that they're also A tier. Looking at this list, I'm realizing how massive this generation is. Holy gosh darn, brother. All right, LGM and Behem. Yes, very good. Weird alien Pokemon. I don't know what they're based on, but I like them a lot because they're weird and alien. I think I like LGM's color scheme more, but Behem's general shape and design more. I don't quite think that these are A tier for me, but they are certainly going to be in B tier. All right, Litwick, Lampent, and Chandelure. This is a line that means we finally get to have an S tier Pokemon. Yes, I absolutely love this line. This is one of my favorite lines in all of Pokemon. It's probably my favorite 3-stage line. So all of them are actually going to be S tier. Litwick is going to be my favorite, and then Chandelure, and then Lampent. I just love them so much. All right, Axew, Haxorus, and then Fracture. This is a very fun dragon line. I believe they're dragon type, right? I don't think these 3D render sprites do them that much justice. I think they look kind of ugly in 3D. I don't think they're A tier for me. I'm going to put them in B tier. All right, then now we have Cubchoo and Beartic. And yeah, I like these ones quite a bit. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and say that Cubchoo is S tier. I bet you didn't see that one coming now, did ya? For some reason, Cubchoo is one of my favorite Pokemon. I really like him. He's an absolute adorable cutie, and I love him to pieces. Snot bubble and all. And then Beartic, I also do really enjoy. Beartic is not quite S tier for me, but you are a high A tier for sure. All right, now we have Cryogonal. This has always been a Pokemon that I've enjoyed. It's kind of a weird one. It's like a mechanical snowflake type of thing, but I've always liked your design. It would be weird for me to not put you in A tier, because when I think of Gen 5, you are one of the ones that I think of, but for some reason, I think you might have to be a B tier. All right, Shelmet and Excelgor, I believe is your name. I don't understand these ones. I don't really know what they are, what they're meant to look like or be. I definitely like Excelgor more. I think Shelmet's just kind of awkward in my opinion. I think Excelgor might be like lower B tier, and then Shelmet's gonna be a C tier. All right, Stunfisk. That's it. It's just Stunfisk. I got nothing against you. I think you're B tier. All right, Mienfoo and Mienshao. I really like these guys. I think I'm gonna have to put them in A tier, both of them. I do think I like Mienshao more. All right, Druddigon. I think this is a rare pure dragon type, and for some reason, I've always really liked Druddigon. I just think the design is very fun, and that means Druddigon is going to be an A tier for me. Way all the way up here. All right, Golett and Golurk, big kind of Iron Giant type looking robot guys. I do like Golurk more. I just like your general shape more. I don't think they're quite A tier for me, but they're pretty, they end up being pretty high up in B tier. All right, Pawniard and Bishop. I'm a Pawniard and Bishop enjoyer. They're not my favorite Pokemon by any means, but I do enjoy them. Do I like them enough for A tier? I don't think so. I think they're kind of just both B tier for me. All right, Bouffalant. That's it. It's just Bouffalant. I don't feel any really strong way about you. You're just a buffalo, really. I think you're C tier. All right, Rufflet and Braviary, a little chicken guy that turns into like a not chicken guy. I don't particularly love you, but I don't hate you. Braviary, yeah, I guess you'll be B tier. No, I think they're C tier. All right, Vullaby and Mandibuzz. Vullaby has the terrible bone diaper that I don't enjoy. Mandibuzz is like a cartoon vulture. I think Vullaby's gonna be one of my, the first D tiers in a while. I just think you're weird and ugly. Mandibuzz, I think, has a fine design. You are just kind of like a generic cartoon vulture to me, though. So I think that you're probably C tier. All right, Heatmore. It's just Heatmore. I've always liked your, like anteater snoot and face. I think that's fun. I think you're a B tier. Durant is also here, which I think is a basketball player. I don't know sports though. This is just a steel ant, and again, it's just kind of fine. And that means it's gonna be a B tier because I like it. It's just like not my favorite. All right, Dino, Zweilous, or Zweilius. I don't know if it has an I there or not. And Hydreigon. I really like this line, and I don't know why. I like the cute little dragon faces that they have. And then I like that they have 1 head and then 2 head and then 3 head, but it's like a head and arm heads, maybe. I don't know. I've always liked this line, and I think that they all go in A tier. All right, Larvesta and Volcarona. I'm pretty sure Volcarona is like a really good Pokemon to use in this game. Either way, I enjoy these two. I don't think I like them enough to be A tier, but they are probably B tier. All right, with this massive generation, we have finally made it to the legendaries. We have Cobalion, Terrakion, and Virizion. I like them. I think that I like Terrakion the least, and then Virizion second most. I kind of feel like I want to put Cobalion and Terrakion, or Virizion, sorry, in A tier, and then Terrakion in B tier. All right, and now we have these ones, which is Tornadus, I believe, and then Thundurus, and then Landorus. Now, Landorus actually comes later in the Pokedex for some reason than these two. They also have like a human form and a beast form, or whatever you want to call it. These guys are just kind of like fine to me. I caught one of them in the game, and that's all I remember. I hate to say it, but I kind of think they're all in B tier somewhere. For now, we have Reshiram and Zekrom. Reshiram and Zekrom is always how I've said it, but some people say Reshiram. I don't really care either. Both of these are A tier. They are the box legendaries. I like them a lot. Also, as much as I liked Zekrom more as a child, I think I've actually grown to like Reshiram more. I don't know why. I think it's just a little bit more beautiful and elegant in a way, but they are both pretty damn close for me, so I'm gonna put them both in A tier next to each other. All right, now there's also Kyurem. I don't actually know much about this because I think Kyurem was black 2 and white 2, or I just didn't play like the post game of Generation 5, but in my brain they're like a weird combination of Reshiram and Zekrom. Apparently there's multiple versions of them or forms. I don't know anything about that. I don't particularly care for Kyurem. I think it makes Reshiram and Zekrom look so much worse. And honestly, for ruining them a little bit, I'm thinking maybe C tier. I don't really like the design. All right, and now we have Keldeo, which is a Pokemon I don't really know anything about. I know it had a movie, and that's about all I know about it. Keldeo, I don't really care for. Apparently it has 2 forms, which I didn't really know. I like this form more than the ordinary form or whatever this is. I'm kind of feeling C tier for you as well. All right, and then we have Meloetta, which also has 2 forms. I think Meloetta's fine, and I think you're probably B tier. And then the last Pokemon of the generation is Genesect, which I don't think is a legendary. You might be mythical, you might not be. I don't know anything about Genesect, but Genesect exists, and do I care about it at all? No. So Genesect is going to be a D tier because I actually think it's kind of ugly. There are also multiple forms of Genesect, but I think they're all just unimpressive color swaps for like the little ray on its head or shoulder or whatever. So I'm not going to rank those because it does not matter to me at all. But anyway, this is a very messy list and I gotta go through and make some little adjustments to finalize it. So I'll see you right now after I do that and cut to it in editing. All right, and this is my final reorganization and whatever ranking of Generation 5 Pokemon. I hope you enjoyed this little ranking of Gen 5. I think that Gen 5 supposedly got some like flack when it originally released. I didn't personally notice or experience that because I was a child and this was my first Pokemon game and I just really enjoyed it and thought it was fun and I just had a blast playing it. So it didn't really matter to me much what other people were saying. I decided to move a couple up into S tier just because I think that their lines I enjoy so much that at least one of them deserves to get put up there. I'm curious to know what your favorite and least favorite Pokemon from Gen 5 are. Please don't be afraid to have dissenting opinions from me. That is perfectly okay. Just don't be like mean or rude about it. All right, that's the one caveat I have, because at the end of the day, if one of your favorite Pokemon is a Pokemon that I don't like, that's perfectly fine with me. I think it's cool that we all get to have Pokemon that we love and enjoy, and I know I have some bad takes or hot takes in this one, so that's on me maybe. And also on you if you get upset about it. Upset about it in a harsh, mean way. I mean, anyway. But thank you all so much for watching. If you liked, please like and subscribe. It means a lot to me and I love to have you here. And I still have 4 more generations to go. I still got a lot of Pokemon to rank, but I'm pretty happy with my progress. And I hope you're having a fantastic day. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.